In the north of Celtic land, where the Catigern tribe did live, there once was a flowing stream that passed the valley of the Gliv. By the gnarly tree that stood upon its western bank, a craggy cave with open mouth, inside 'twas dark and dank. By the day the smell of rotting flesh was carried through the Gliv, enough to turn the hearts of heroes, no honour did it give. By night the scrape of metal upon metal sounded in the air, maybe rattling chains, or sword or nail, lo, behold, beware. Sounds that came from inky blackness filled the brave with dread. Nearer, nearer came the noise, and terrified men they fled. Only a hero with stalwart mind dared enter that fell place. Those that did would not return, forgotten was his face. Yet the fate of these dead heroes had only just begun, for horrid nightmares gripped the village from where these men did come. And now Catigern the Wanderer had travelled wide to lands unknown. Years he spent in snow and ice, in a place so far from home. And there he fought the red-haired Vanir on behalf of Aesir king. There he waged in mighty battle, a song his sword did sing. Returning to his place of birth, the tribe of Catigern, he defeated the Picts that threatened the Gales, with never looking back. Home he asked for Gilda's hand. They married in the spring. 4 years passed with happy times, a son the gods did bring. The baby grew into a boy, Caradog his name. Bran, his father, old and wise, now took the title Thane. One day a weary traveller, Llewellyn, had chanced upon the cave, and like the rest who entered, Llewellyn could not be saved. But Catigern, undaunted, gathered sword and shield, set off to find the traveller. Never would he yield. Entering the dreaded valley, and sickened with the putrid stench, tying cloth around mouth and nose, to find the route Llewellyn went. Nightfall came as he found the tree, crooked, gnarled, alone. Then the sound of dragging metal turned his thoughts to home. Terror filled his weary heart. He gripped his trusted sword, a friend that gave him new-found courage. Now his spirit soared. Into blackest darkness he used his torch to light the way. The flames they battled, unseen hands, but Catigern would not stray. The cave now opened into cavern. The torch cast shadows on the walls. There was no sign of the traveller, no response to calls. Catigern now led with sword, deeper, deeper towards the sound. The fearful noise of age-old chain dragging on the ground. In the flickering shadow of his torch was a horror to behold, a thin and wiry, ghastly sight, a man long dead from sagas old. A face as white as Ymir's beard, skin as white as snow, beckoning with bony finger, to the darkness go. Catigern's legs refused to move. His heart was full of fear. The shield it fell from fear-chilled hand. His sword was no use here. Ghostly shackles made the noise, wherever the wraith did walk. Into the inky darkness, never did it talk. Follow doom the hero did, like many did before. What fate awaited Catigern? He wished to see his child once more. The ghostly wraith moved slowly, skeletal feet still dragging chains. Many bones now trodden underfoot, many human remains. Remains of fallen warriors that died here in the cave. Remains of forgotten heroes that courage could not save. Now the wraith it turned around, its jaw was open wide. Fearing death, powerless, Catigern cast his sword aside. The wraith it never moved, nor made attempt to slay. And then its bony finger pointed down a staircase, and a voice did say, I never killed the heroes, a warrior I am not. 'Twas the fear that slew them, I am cursed and long forgot. I was a weary traveller, Llywelyn was once my name. My only wish is to be buried by the tree from whence you came. Catigern saw with pity the loneliness in hollow eyes. A man who once died years ago, and many times he'd tried to lure the bravest of the brave, the ones who showed no fear or dread, but instead of getting buried, his benefactors now lay dead. So Catigern ventured down the stairs, and lo, there was a pile of bones. The traveller he had come to find lay broken on the stones. Now bound here for eternity, his ghost was doomed to haunt. Every man that died of fright was another bitter taunt. Gathering remains in aged rags that once the wraith did wear, he set off to complete the burial, heading up the stair. Through the corpse-littered cavern, he retrieved his trusty sword. Outside the Gliv Valley cave, to the tree he headed toward. At the tree the bones were buried. The sword it dug a shallow grave. The rotten stench it vanished. A groan echoed through the cave. At last the spirit of Llywelyn could rest, and the valley no longer chill. But what of the forgotten fallen? Would they haunt the cavern still? Oh, then one by one, ancient ghosts, spirits of the fallen dead, rose up high over the valley to their villages where tears were shed. Names were now remembered, nightmares ended with waking breath. Curse finally lifted, released from a fate that's worse than death. So Catigern crossed the valley, returning to his waiting tribe. Gilda and his son were fearful, so certain that he'd died. And that is the tale of the cave in the Gliv. Some say the curse, it lingers on, but not in inky darkness, but from the bards who sing its song.